Hi, hi guys. So good to be here. Hey everyone. So we changed it a little the format again because we like to. Leo is muted. Oh, that's cool because Leo just did like a monologue and it was very interesting. Yeah. By the way, sorry. Hey there, Lighting Jack, Camo, and thanks to Slowen for the host. Today is your day to talk, Jan. Yeah, it is actually. So today we are going to show you what remains of Edith Finch in a little different way than the usual. We are actually doing the gameplay live this time. The other times the gameplay was always recorded by me. And hopefully it's gonna be enjoyable because me and I think also Leo, we really love this game. The narrative behind it's so good. And so Leo, are you?
Yeah, I think I should be fine now. I think I should be fine.
Can you guys hear Leo now? Hey there.
Finally, okay, yeah.
Finally,
so
okay.
yeah, cool. And for who's new to these channels, we're gonna to look at the environment and the narrative and the composition and everything about the game that we're gonna look at it, and then we're gonna try to highlight what makes that environment so good, so that if you are making an environment yourself, or if you want to know more about game dev, that's a good opportunity for you to understand all those little details that goes behind the environment. I hope you're gonna enjoy it. So yeah, you ready to try this live gameplay thing? Let's try.
Yeah. So it's kind of strange. I'm streaming to Leo, that's streaming to you guys. Why Jan is in a weird box? What do you mean? I'm in a,
He deserved it. It didn't behave, so now I put it there. So right now, Jan is streaming to my computer the gameplay, and I'm streaming to you guys the thing. So sometimes the overall stream might not be laggy, but the video that we are seeing of the gameplay might be laggy, and that's something that we are fine tuning and try to understand how to improve and do better. Hopefully, it's not going to be too bad. Has anyone played this game? That was one of my favorite 2019 game.
I try to understand. Okay.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning with the house.
So right in that shot, we got a lot of clues of what's gonna happen at the end, but I'm not gonna spoil it anything because yeah. So here I'm gonna stop it here, and I'm gonna look at
Here until I was 11.
I'm gonna look at this scene here, which is just pretty obvious. Obviously, we start and the camera is facing the direction where the player has to go, and it's giving you a hint of where you have to go. And that's something very obvious for us, especially when someone explains it. But when you're making an environment, I'll see a lot of students and a lot of people not doing these sort of things. And I think that's something that is so easy to achieve, but sometimes it gets overlooked. And what I'm trying to say here is that thanks to the size of this rock formation, we got this sort of vignetting and the road leading us here. We got some silhouette information, but what's important here is that we have the objective, which is this house here. For who doesn't know, right now after that boat part where we were looking at the piece of the journal thing, we are going back to our parents' house. I don't want to say too much because if you haven't played the game, you should like play the game, and it's a really good game. But yeah, in general, you can see how, you know, the objective is right in your face and it's like nice vignetted around it, and you know, always try to frame things when you give the player the control of the camera so that they are kind of more directed to the direction that you want them to go. Let's go back to the video. If it's still there, let's see if it moves. It's a bit laggy. I can see on my side as well.
Yeah? Wait.
Yeah, it's very laggy. Sorry guys about this.
Bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Oh, snap.
Let's see if we can refresh this and make it work better. Sorry guys, we are learning. We are trying to make this even more live so that you guys can experience everything live. I think we lost it.
Really?
Okay, I'm back. I'm on the bridge.
Okay.
On menu. It's funny because when we did the tests, everything was running smoothly, but now it doesn't look like.
Obviously.
Didn't tell me what it unlocked.
Like when you do a demo, maybe on, you know,
Maybe
there's
she
always
now.
something that goes wrong.
Or she thought the mystery was enough to bring me back.
No, it's very, very laggy.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to maybe turn off your camera for this this time.
We try. From my side, it's all green and good to go.
Yeah, maybe it's me. I don't know.
Did it get any better?
The truth is,
Yeah,
even after I inherited the
Yeah?
house,
yeah, I think it's
I
better.
never thought I'd come back to it.
I guess we're not gonna see Borto anytime anymore now.
It's not my fault.
I'm gonna just put a picture of him here.
From hero to zero. I went the other way this time.
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
That was fast, yeah. Couldn't even enjoy my, you know, streaming popularity. Couldn't even reach there.
Alright, so now we are navigating the thing and we're getting close to the house.
The way I've been dreaming about it.
Yeah, still a bit laggy, but we will try to reduce a bit the quality
The house made me
and then make
the
it
way I couldn't put into words.
make it more smooth.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
You were afraid of the house, King Deru?
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
So here, I want to stop here a bit and look at inside this all. When you have an opportunity with the environment or with the gameplay or whatever to frame something, you definitely want to work on the composition that you see behind like within the frame of what you're framing, if that makes sense. So in this case here, the door is like blocking the view of everything, and this frame is giving you a bit of an overview. It shows that there was like old people going up here, and there's like a lot of books and things that probably tells you that people studies a lot or reads a lot in this house here. And you can see also how the frame is divided in two, and you got this like part which is like closer to you, and then you got this sort of windows with the mountains in the background, which give you an idea of what kind of house and vista you're gonna get from there and everything. So long story short, when you have an opportunity to frame a specific area of the environment, really work on how you show that environment in that frame. I think that's really important. Let's go back to the video. If the video's still there, let's see. Yeah, it's still there. The sounds is there. Beep, 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 beep.
Oh.
Yeah, John is not. The problem is that John's webcam is so high quality that if we stream that, it will like saturate his bandwidth. So if we stop it here, you can see that here there are all the elements of a garage, right? You got all this workbench with all this tool and all this like table with all the stuff. You got all the things that the people stores in the garage, which is like boxes with stuff in it. You got like chemical products that you don't want in the house. You got other chemical products there. You got like a soil and a freezer or something. You got bicycles and like a canoe over there. So you can see that all the elements in this space are very readable in terms of elements that you can find in a garage space. And you know, when you make a different type of area within your environment, you always need to try to make every area very unique by using unique assets for each area that will allow you to create you know, a variation in terms of space that you navigate through the game. And I think here is like a good example of how all the elements that we see here are very related to the garage type of theme, which is very good. One thing that I would recommend is not to put every asset everywhere, but instead try to create contours with the thematics that you use in each areas of the house or the environment that you make. Back to the video. We got spam.
Oh.
A lot of spam.
A lot of spam. Yeah. So
let me see if I can block them. You can play.
now you're famous. Yeah.
For the first time in years.
But we have a bot that is not doing his work, apparently.
Yeah, this bot here. So even here, like if you look at the kitchen, if you go back to the entrance where you came in, Porto, it's nice that now it's live. I can tell you where to go. And you look at the kitchen there, more on the right. This is perfect, actually. Like if we look at here, this is another good example of, you know, you diversify the type of asset that you use throughout the environment. So you can see how if we use the orange for the kitchen, how we got the mugs here, we got these pots hanging here, which is kind of cool because it has this sort of very unique way of holding it with this ship wheel. I don't know how you call it, and it's really cool, and it gives us like some idea of what type of characters are living here, and the fact that we have this boat wheel maneuver thing. We also have a lot of tuna or fish in can here, which is, in my opinion, connected to the fact that who lives here might be related to some fish here, who fish around the area, and as far as I remember, there is a lake, so it makes sense that they eat fish in this context of place. But yeah, in general, you can see how like all the props that you see here, like these ones here, all the plates behind the sink, probably also the color of the cupboards and the drawers are all for the kitchen. So we got the kitchen area. And then if you look on the other side here, you can see already how the colors of the wall has already a different color. So it's less like bluish and gray, but it has this green color here. And then we got frames with pictures all over the place. And yeah, you can see how there is no picture in this area, even if normally some people might put pictures in this area just to make it more nicer. But in this case, they kept it very separate so that they can create a visual contrast between the kitchen area and the stairwell area kind of thing. One thing that I noticed throughout the whole environment is books. I feel like books is the glue that helps to better blend all the environments, all the different areas together. So if we look at, we got books here. Oh, well, I'll use yellow. Let's use a yellow. We got books here. We got books there. We got books there. We also have books here. All right. There. Then we got books here. And I feel like they use books as a way to, as the glue. So that's what really unifies those environments, because you can find the books in all these spaces, which is really cool. So it's always good to diversify the thematic of props that you're using in each area if you have the chance to. But if you have a type of asset, like in this case the books, that you can place in kind of everywhere, it's a good way to use those as a glue to blend all the environments together. Let's go back to the video. Sorry, Porto was sleeping for a second.
Yeah, I'm here. I think there's a lot of delay between my video and what you actually see. I don't know if you can...
Yeah, I think it is.
Buffer,
I was just joking about it.
After Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
There you go.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
So here, if we look at, actually, let me get a better screenshot.
Furniture.
If we get
the doorway.
Yeah, like something like that. Yeah, but it's very hard to direct Borto. He gets in a room and he looks left and he's like, oh shit, I couldn't get the screenshot. Let me see if I can find another one.
Too many teeth.
I need to give him some guideline on how to navigate the spaces.
My mom.
All right, like you can see here on the table how, it's a very strong storytelling that people were eating here, right? Because usually people don't leave dirty dishes on table, but they put them either on the sink or on the dishwasher. But in this case, everything is still on the table. Oh my god, I can't draw a circle. So everything is on the table. They have probably Chinese food. Looking from the shape of this thing, it reminded me of noodles, and you can see the chopsticks here, which is connected to that thing. So they had Chinese food. You can see that, and I think that's also in the voiceover. It tells you that, and you can see how they don't just have the boxer with the food, but they also have the soy sauce. They also have the spicy soy sauce or something, and they also have the paper that the chopsticks is wrapped around, and like all these element fork for people who's now like able to use chopsticks and everything. So you can see how they're in Chinese, but they're not just using the Chinese packaging, but they're adding all those details that you get when you order like Chinese food, kind of thing, which is really cool. And again, we can see here that they used books. Books is like recurrent glue prop that is used everywhere just to blend everything together. And in general, you can tell here that they were in a rush and they kind of left in a rush. And there is the wheelchair here, which suggests that someone is injured or someone is old. And the fact that there is this brochure about old people, I guess, it suggests that here it was the place for the old person. And then on this side here, you can see how this cup is pink, and this plate is kind of pink, and it's kind of probably made of plastic, looking at the shape and how it's made. So probably here was sitting a kid, or someone that is now an adult, and probably on the other side is probably the mother of the kid or some relative of the family. But you can see the amount of details in everything here. This is pretty awesome. It's not just like they're in Chinese, but there are all the details behind eating Chinese with all these like little details that really brings everything together and ground things together. We're back to the video, to the gameplay. If you guys want to ask Borto to look at something or to go back to somewhere, feel free to ask.
Oh, so cute. So just to...
Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Okay, just to understand
Mom told me to stay out of the basement.
what you're seeing. What do you see now?
You just try the key on the door.
I see. Okay.
A lot of books indeed. Alright, we're going upstairs now. And it'll be quick with a screenshot.
Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. And Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
So in this corridor here, you can tell already that the lighting that we were before, so this like sunlight coming in, is kind of blending, creating a gradient with these pink lights. And the fact that it's pink, it suggests us that here there's gonna be a different type of character dressing something. I mean, I know for sure because I played it, but lighting also adds that with the blending, so it diversifies the area from like a natural sunlight kind of lighting to a pinkish lighting, which is different in color, and that creates a sort of variation. And you can see here again how we have that's the same books everywhere that creates the glue and adds the details on the skirting of the walls and creates nice foreground elements and nice details. But as well, we got plenty of pictures that got all ignored by Borto about the story of the family or what happened. And putting a picture on a frame is definitely an easy way to tell, to give a piece of personality or background or backstory of characters or something else. So in this case, you got plenty of them. And you can tell here already the visual language. We spoke in the episode about the visual language of doors that you can now open. And in this case, we got another cool example of this bar here with those hinges there, and then probably a lock. I can't really tell how this thing function, but I think the hinges there are there so that when you unlock with the key this part here in the center, you will be able to kind of unfold and open this kind of mechanism to unlock the door. But also we can see another thing that strengthens the fact that you cannot open is the foam around the door. You can see there is like foam that telling us like this has been sealed close. You can see also here coming out. So even if we had the key for that, we wouldn't be able to, which is, like the foam coming out from the gaps of the door with the door frames, and this mechanism to lock the door is clearly a way to indicate players and us that you cannot pass the door. Like, you should not pass. Exactly. And I guess that's what they want, right? So let's go back to the video. Oh, look, Borto's looking at picture now.
Oh, look at that. Cable.
Yeah, as we saw many times, cables really helps to lead the players in direction.
The night we left.
So in this case, that's another case, yeah.
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
How they integrated the subtitles in the image, it was really cool.
The first thing they always
And also,
about is Barbara.
I know because I played this, but all this painting here are foreshadowing what's gonna happen.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think
So
I
here,
learned some
if you look at this image here, you can see how the colors and everything is so different. So like bluish, and there's a light source there, which is probably a light from a Windows, I hope, that cast there and makes this like kind of effect here. And because I think the wall is blue because fish and I think this is underwater house things, which is again foreshadowing things in the game. Because the wall is blue, the lighting bouncing on the wall will bounce everywhere, creating this sort of blue tone to the thing, which is really cool and adds a lot of character to the room. One thing that you can tell here is that someone was here, and you can see the marks here. You can see the mark going there, and there's definitely probably like a wheelchair. And I think in the video is telling about being here with the grandparents or something. But yeah, this looks like a wheelchair that got moved there. And the reason why we see all this is because there is a roughness contrast in the properties of the material. So in the part where the wheelchair was going, they used a very rough value so that it doesn't reflect the light, and in the other planks they used a more reflective value so that because we got the lights behind, you now can see better the details of this storytelling here, which is cool. And yeah, I also like the fact that the carpet is this carpet here, it breaks a bit the floor on the ground, but at the same time it's now like it's folded, so it's kind of giving you, like, letting you go through this room much more gently rather than having the corner of this this carpet right in your face. but instead it's folded, so it creates that sort of angle that which is your entry to this room. It's pretty cool. And I'm gonna go back to the video now. Yeah, so that was from the windows.
Turns out my mom was really
One cool thing about this game is also the mechanic of how you interact with everything.
been afraid of.
It's very dynamic. So if you want to open the lock, probably you have to move the mouse and
Brother Milton had been
things.
for me.
Let us know, guys, if we have volume problems.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
Because we
but I had no
usually
idea
do.
what was
So in this shot here, I actually stop with a hand in front of it, but again, this is another good opportunity to touch base on the fact that in game, a lot of times we can control the camera, like the camera of the player, because we want to give the player freedom to move and look wherever they want. But often cases, we got these sort of channels points where we know for sure that players will go through, like in this case, and we can really frame things that you see through that. In this case here, we get like a glimpse of so many things about the personality of who's living here. I don't want to be generalist, but anyway, it looks like there is a girl room because it's pink, but again, that doesn't mean that it cannot be a boy. But if we want to be very, if we want to generalize,
to be politically correct, Leo.
This looks like a pink room with a lot of like girly elements. Again, this could be also for a guy, but for now, let's pretend it's a girl. You can see all these like toys and things, so we can kind of figure out the age of this person, by looking at the type of object that we find here. So like this horse here, and this thing, which probably not her thing, but it's more like for the dolls. So we know that this person likes to play with dolls still. We got this thing here. So I feel like there is a strong idea that this person likes horses. We have one horse here, one horse there. So maybe that's what they try to give us. And another thing that we see is that she likes flowers, and in general the floral kind of theme. You can see how we got all these all these like floral patterns going around here to add details. It's pretty cool. We got the flowers there. We got some probably fake vine or real vine, depends if it's dry or not, coming down there. And it's pretty cool, I think. It's pretty cool. And also, like in the carpet, probably there are some maybe floral, or maybe not. Maybe that's a moon. I don't know. But yeah, in general, just by looking at it, by the color, by the type of assets, by the all those elements, you can tell a lot about the character and about this room. And and back to what I was saying about don't put everything everywhere. Probably we will never see the horse, this doll thing here, this decoration here, this ribbon here, anywhere else, and they only use it here to add character and unique and make this room more unique. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna go back to the video.
The first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Now we're in the same room, but
Right, but I didn't
different lighting. It's pretty cool, and it's a nice way to diversify. Here, I wanna show this thing here. So the lighting coming from outside, obviously, it's a moonlight, and in game, for gameplay reason, we make the moonlight much stronger than what's in reality. Like this looks like a lamppost outside the windows, but in this case, it's just like the moonlight, and that's just to make easier for players to understand where to go and what to do. And yeah, in general, what I wanted to say here is that the change of light really gives this room a whole new different look. You see, the walls doesn't look as pink as they were looking earlier, and everything is very different. And that's a really like smart way to create variation in your environment. And also the moon is using it. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so like the moon, I don't see it here, probably like somewhere there, but like usually it's very huge, because if we make it as small as reality, people will barely see it. But yeah. So yeah, moonlight, and you know, the brightness of the moon is usually stronger than reality, and giving the room or the environment, making a different light set will completely make a new room, like you can see here. Let's go back to the video.
Don't know if you guys remember that, but about moon
I kept eating and
in
eating.
GTA, Grand Theft Auto, Vice City, you could shoot at the moon, and the moon will increase the size of it. Do you remember that?
Oh, I didn't know. Now everyone is downloading GTA again.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Should I do something? I can't remember.
Yeah, she just said that she wanted to eat the fish, but she held back, so
Yeah,
she's
but-
not gonna. That's why we weren't doing a Porto live playing, because of I think you just need to go somewhere else.
Mom, can I come out now? Sweetheart!
Ah.
The Halloween candy was all gone.
Oh god.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
So good. You can see how heavy it's jumping, this cat. So don't know if you noticed that ladder there that has that lighting there, or like this one here that I just stopped. Like you can see how the branch is it's whiter, and as well, like I think it's painted. Maybe it's like a bird poops or things like that. But in general, there's also light here that are signposting the fact that you have to jump here, because probably when they first did this sort of gameplay part here, they noticed that thanks to the playtest that we often do, they noticed that players will not understand really well where to go. So they try to make it easier, especially at the beginning of this experience here, to make the players understand that they can jump here and they can probably walk there or jump on the other side, so that they can go improve the experience. Well, let's go back. So you can see how the branches are a bit like brighter than the trunk. You can see the Christmas light are highlighting, that part of the roof. That is where you're walking. And one cool thing. Okay, going. Obviously, the bird is literally moving to the direction that you have to go, so it's really nice. Like, it's very easy to follow it, kind of thing.
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore.
So, sorry for the lag.
All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Now we're flying. Yeah, so annoying when it's laggy.
Is it lagging much?
Yeah, every 2 seconds it's stopping.
I imagined looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit.
Yeah, sorry for the lag. So next time we will reduce a bit the quality of the video so that
But I couldn't stop eating.
it will lag less. Probably we will reduce to 30 frames per second instead of 60.
If you want, I can try right now. I need to restart.
No, that's fine.
It should be quickly.
I think it's just bad that there's a lot of movement at some delay.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
For who hasn't played this game, this is actually the first experience that you go through the game. So I hope we are not spoiling too much for you.
Tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
But yeah, I really recommend to play the game.
I grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped
Oh,
out
wow.
of the water.
I love this
When I
part.
opened my eyes, everything
Don't know what you're looking at,
changed.
but
I'm seeing
get it.
the snake.
Yeah.
So cool. So we went from a cat to a owl to a shark, and then now we are a snake. And you can see again how we are in this boat, probably like a fishing boat, like a ferry. Actually, like a ferry because I see a lot of cars and things. And that's again to reinforce the fact that this is more like a fishery area, and that's why we got a lot of fish inside the house, and we got a lot of sea related assets.
Big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also
The way you move around is so cool.
Also, the way the guy is singing is very cool. So good. Have you played this, Sloan? Have you experienced this game?
after the last passenger,
But
I was
did you really thought that that was a snake?
something
Was it a snake?
to have, so I swam towards it.
No, dude, it's an octopus. This is the tentacle.
Ah, is it?
I slithered onto the sand.
Ah.
Fell into an old pipe.
Do you feel you want to play it now?
I got
Chantopus.
closer.
Oh. You see also this the scale of this experience, like it's much smaller.
And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be. We both know. I will be
So cool.
delicious.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. And now we're back to the previous landing, previous room. We're back to
So as you can
I'm not
see,
sure if I
there's
agree with that, but I
other
think
characters that need to be unlocked, and you'll have a glimpse of their lives when you get into their rooms, like this one.
yeah. So yeah, you experience how they die.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in great-grandmother's
Again here,
bedroom.
if we look at this frame here, you can see how we just got inside the room, and again we know that the player is gonna go there, and we place things in a nice way. So in this case, if we quickly draw the rule of third for who's new, it's just an easy way to balance, to put subjects in the composition in a balanced way. And you can see how the chair, like this, like all rocking chair, I guess that's what it's called. Rocking chair, it's there, and it's kind of signposting and telling us, giving us some clues about the age of who's living in this room here. Also, we can see how there are like medical thing here, like oxygen and things that can be brought around, and that's again suggests us that the person living here, or the person who was living here, was probably towards the end of their life. or maybe they have some disease or something, I don't know. But yeah, you can see this element. And one thing that we know for sure is that this person liked birds or birds cage, and you can see how birds are sort of everywhere. And in this case, they're very nice because they create a nice foreground element to the room when we just get in, which is pretty cool. So we got them everywhere. And you see how they're not just copy paste, but in some of them there are some books that we understood that books are there for as a glue to blend everything together. These are the one as glue books here. So probably this and this are the same assets, just like rotated a bit. This one has some candles in it, which will look very cool. Same for this one. So there is some variation within the thing. Also, one thing that we see straight at the beginning, it's like this sort of paper nailed to this wooden frame, which is common when you're making painting on this board here. And you can see how there are like newspaper thing that we often use as a way to cover the floor when we paint, or as a way to not get the floor dirty. And in fact, you can see all this green ink stain here, which is probably like fell from the top here. So maybe here there is some sort of painting area or something, and I think there's like this leg here that might suggest there is, I don't know. But yeah, in general, we got a really good idea of the personality who was living in this room here. We got birds here as well, and also even just the age and the look of the fixtures, like the light here, the type of pattern that the walls has, like all those different elements are very well connected to the personality of the character. So you can see how everything looks very traditional and old. You can see that, and then you have the same thing on the carpet. It's like that old Persian carpet thing that every grandma has. And yeah, I think that's a good way. So like in this game, there are a very good example of how with environments you can tell the story of who's living there. So in this is one of the cases. So you can see that there is the VHS, there's like the old TV, there's a painting here.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
That's how John plays the game. He opens the door and then look away.
Because I think I missed something, so I came back.
So here in this shot here, I want to point out how like in this case, you go room by room of your relatives, and you are just finding like elements that makes you relive their experience before death. So in this case, we don't have a book like in the previous one, but we have this. I don't even know how to call it in Italian, so I don't know. This thing where you put your eyes on it, and then you scroll the film that you can see here on top here, and you get like different image of what's inside here. Anyway, like in this case here, this is the objective of this room here, and you can see how often the objective, which is like placed on this surface here, is very well highlighted. So in this case, we got this very nice decoration thing, which gives the name of the who are we like experiencing or was living there with the date, so give us some clues already. But also like there are like candles there, and then we see this thing here, which is probably things that you can put inside this plastic thing. You can see like this part here. It's like one of these, so that you can replace what's inside and look at other pictures. Maybe this was an old way to save pictures and things. And you see how this is connected to that. So it's really suggesting us that. And then on top of that, every time I say on top of that, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. On top of that, we got like books that are like leading the eyes there. We got the pen, we got lines that are really like bringing the eye to the center. So you can see how from the distance, the closer we get to the things that we have interacted, which is part of the objective, the more details we have around the surrounding of that object itself. And again, in this game, you're gonna see plenty of example like this, where you have something that you have interact with on a table or on a bed or on something, and around it is very well dressed. And I just want to point out that. Right, we're back here.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
So this big bathroom, to me, is one of my favorite places of the game. So good. So like
This one?
yeah, so nice. And you can see how the fur on the ground has this like very pinkish color, which makes all the room very pinky. But then not only that's pink, we also have the toilet that is pink, which is cool. And then on top of the toilet, we got the seat warming thing, which is pink. And then we got a bit of white, which goes to till here, like that. And then again, we got more pink, which is like this like band of tiles that is pink. It's pretty cool. And you can see, and then we got the pink plaster here, which is also pretty cool. And maybe that's just gray, but because the light bounces on this pink object, everything gets pink tones here. And then you can see how the material choice is very limited, and I think that's what makes it so good. You can see the top of the toilet water thing. It's not pink, so it adds another material. This is like a metal material. And in general, I say that often in the other streams. When you are using materials, don't go overboard with the amount of material you're using for the scene, but try to stick with the best thing, I think, is 3 materials. So if you can have all the structural elements stay within 3 materials, it's gonna look really good. So in this case, obviously, pink is one material, and you can see pink everywhere you look in this toilet here, and it's really cool. Even like on this cupboard here, or whatever this is, it's like pink. But then we got also white, which is like the top counter, and then it's also the bottom part of the wall with the tiles, which is pink, which is also the top of the toilet, which is also this side of the wall here as well, and it's also the towels and part of the towels. And talking about the towels, we also have a pink part of the towels. Oh, I can't pick properly. No, pink there. So like this is kind of mixed. But yeah, in general, you see how there are like 2-3 materials. So the other material that I can see probably is the metal, which gives us like a kind of dark gray tone. Then we got it here, we got it there. Probably we can get it here. There's like this bottle here, which has the same kind of tone. Probably the painting there. But in general, I think you can see how that mainly 3 material in this environment. And I think a lot of times people and new beginners goes with I want more material, I want more variation, more thing. But sometimes, as often you hear saying, less is more. So if you can reduce the amount of material to a 3 materials, you will get a really cool result. Pretty cool, because when you have 3 material, it really forces you to focus on the design of things to make it look pretty. Where if you have a lot of material, you just put things and then they don't work, you don't know why it's not working, blah blah blah. So yeah, 3 material, magic rule. Let's go back to the video. We're looking at a painting. No, it's a book.
It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
So again, we got a chance to
Gave Sam an old camera.
enter in this space,
He never put it down.
and we got a glimpse of what was this space used for. So if I freeze here, you can see how here is where you develop the pictures. These are plastic container that contains a liquid that with a film with like a photosensitive film where you develop the pictures, it will show like the values of the picture, and probably these elements here are all related to the developing pictures and things like that. Probably these books is where you then store the pictures, you put them inside. So imagine there is like a picture sticking out like that, and other liquid thing, and you can see how you got this small frame. I don't know how you call them in English, but like those guys here. And this is like the more like recent one. I mean, it's not really recent, but like compared to that, it's like more recent. I don't know why it's giving me error. And yeah, and the reason why it's here in this like hidden spot is because since this film here is photosensitive until it gets developed, you need to operate this kind of thing in a very dark environment. And which is called the black room or something, and it makes sense to have this space in this sort of corridor within the walls of the house, because you kind of will not get the light from outside to this place. Even if now it's quite bright, probably it's because we opened that like doors there. But yeah, in general, like it makes sense to have this space here because it tied with the fact that we need darkness to develop pictures like this. It just makes sense and it's cool.
So I actually didn't remember that, but is the main character pregnant? I don't remember that, but
what do you think?
When I saw the picture here, I saw the belly.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, we don't want to say too much. This is another of my favorite room because in this case, you got a bed, you got a room with 2 characters in it, and you can really see how iconic each part of the room based on the character is. So you can see how there is the more like hunting and outdoorsy thing, and then there is the more nerdy and space kind of kid, and you can see that in the room too. And I think this is like really good, really well done. Let's see if we can get a shot if Porto looks in a nice way later.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
So again here, as we were saying earlier, did I take a screenshot?
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind,
I didn't take a
that was
screenshot.
it.
Never mind.
Oh.
Oh, you can keep going.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore.
No, it's lagging again. Looks like when you are in this experience, it lags.
I think Calvin wanted to fly.
Probably because the camera movement pretty fast.
But that day, he
If
finally...
you guys have any question about like things that we spoke about, feel free to ask in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer it.
Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Yeah, no, it's very laggy.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up.
I'm wondering if it's laggy because of the connection and the image, or because your computer cannot hold the game and
Already made
the encoding.
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Let me see that. I'll check on that. I don't think it's the computer. OBS will tell me. And by the way, I don't take it personally if you offend my computer.
I'm not
So-
offending you.
You shouldn't even try that.
Strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
I remember one time that Leo just he just broke his current laptop. He bring that to our office, and the first thing the computer did, it was a blue screen.
The first time of
So yeah,
that computer blue screen was like at that office. So if we stop the frame here, and then we try to look at how they diversify the 2 characters, you can see how many elements do we have that really separate the 2 of us. We got something that has shared in both of the side of the room, which is the wood. You can see the wood structures are everywhere, both on the left and both on the right of the image, which is what we're gonna have as the glue in this space here. But then if we look at the left side, you can see that the main colors is cold and blue, right? You can see the tent there, the light coming in will be more colder, and that's how they get the cold light, which is cool. And you can see the reflection there as well. We got the cool blue sort of bed sheet, which is there, and it also has like, you know, spacemen and stars, which is the theme of this little guy here. You can see here we got space related stuff. We got stars. How nice I draw distance. Oh, we got like planets with things around it, and we got lamps that are made from the shape of shuttle, and we got like other toys, other things. And what else we got? Obviously here we got the helmet and everything, robot. So you can see all these elements are very like space oriented kind of thing. And last thing that is very different is the carpet as well. You can see how on this side we got this bluish gray carpet, and then we got the wooden, separate both of them, the wooden planks here. And then after that we get the camouflage carpet on this side. And you can see this like the bed sheet of the other guy, and it has camouflage too. And what else we got? We got the red tent, which will make the light coming from that tent like more like warm and reddish, which will give this room a different character. He's probably more into sport. We got this football mask here, and then what else we got? In this frame, I can't really tell much about this side here, but it's probably into hunting. You can see there is a deer horns here and animal and someone holding it. And the fact that I think it's also maybe the gun is here, but it's also shooting at his brother, and you can see the plastic bullets there, which is pretty cool because they look like they are kind of playing but fighting, so kind of interesting. And then you see it doesn't have like nothing here. It just store things because I don't know. Where the other guy is more like utilizing all the space that he has. So this is like his control room where he can look at things, and that's also where you go to interact. Where this guy is more like, oh, I wanna play football, I wanna go outside kind of thing. So because of that, he used this space more as like storage room rather than gameplay room. And I think this is really cool. Really cool. I'm gonna go back to the video. So cool. So we have a question for Gian. What is Gian doing when he's not playing games or creating memes?
Nothing. That's my main purpose.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Oh, shortcut there.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
So here we're getting inside the room.
Thought about how
And again, you can see how everything is so unique to this room. So you can see how this person living here is very messy, and you can tell that. But it's also more into music. You can see here there's like a vinyl player. There are vinyl. I don't know. On the floor here, which is good, and probably that's connected to it. And I think those are all books related to music or film or something. Messy, just not enough time, exactly. And then you got this like mannequin head with props, so maybe she's also into film and acting or something like that, which is I know is the case. Pictures there, so you can see how unique this room is and how how do you say, how nice this is, because it's really every time we enter in one of these member of the family, we are in a different world and we are in their world. So in this case, we are in Barbara room and we are also in Barbara world. And if you're looking at the materials again, you can see how the desk here is like brown, has these brown elements, which I'm drawing blue, obviously. And then the walls is brown. And then, everything is, all the walls are brown there. It's pretty cool. And then the other accent color that we have is this turquoise. It's like bluish, greenish color here, which we see throughout these sort of props. And probably also here we see them. Turquoise. We see a bit here, we see on his hat, we see on this thing here. And and that's another way, and again, to remind you, like, don't overdo the materials, just stick with 2 or 3 materials and I will do the job. Tents, in this case here, are a very effective way to save you a lot of work. Because allows you the lights to come through, so they don't block the light, but they don't allow you to see through, which means you don't have to build what's behind it. And usually when we build something like that, we have this emissive map in the materials information, and we can make this brighter than that. Even if in this case, I think what they did, they have the wall and they build like a wall and they put like a massive light outside casting inside this room, and that's creating the shadows. And because of the opacity of this tent, you're now able to see through either on that, which is cool, because it gives us the impression that there is an outside, there's lights coming in, and etc. But at the end of the day, probably when you are in this room, the outside is not even loaded. It's just like gives the impression to the players that this space is bigger and there's a lot of things. Yeah, you can see, I think you can tell us already with the colors, with the way that things are placed, the fact that Barbara is messy and the other characters weren't as messy, the type of object that we see in this room, like the vinyls and the posters of films, etc., the colors that we use, all those elements gives a very unique character to each room, and it gives us the backstory and the story. It gives us the idea of who's living here. Go back to the video. So pretty.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been.
You can see the clothes of Barbara in this comic are the same clothes that we saw in the room.
Scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue.
Oh.
She reached for the music box.
You have to do it.
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
And it's cool because we are like moving in a comic. For like Borto right now is like moving inside the pages of the comic.
Scratch and imagine the worst.
Can we hear John scream?
Why would you?
Yeah,
I think my neighborhoods. Yeah.
Slowdown was saying pixel shading. This is usually referred as shell shading. I guess it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can scream Borto now.
I think my neighborhoods wouldn't like that.
Even Call My Dog is asking for a scream. We got King Delu, Call My Dog.
If other two people ask it, I'll do it.
Alright, Sloan, come on. Do you wanna hear Borto scream? I say yes. Oh.
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare
Did
you
I say
to
two
help you
people?
find your
Oh,
screen.
look at that. Slow and don't want to hear
So
me
we got
scream.
King Delu, we got Call Me Dog, we got Shrugs. Sharks. I'm struggling so
And
much
that's
with
3. We need 4.
It's
4
me.
people. No, you're not counted.
Wait.
When she fell asleep watching the late picture show.
There you go.
What are you typing?
Even
Walter? What's
even Spaghetti wants that.
Okay, I'm coming up. But if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Ooh.
Spooky, scary.
But his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
I returned, saw the hook man, and
So for Sloan asking if they use a special effect for this scene, I think they use a combination of an effect to the level, as well as some asset swap. And I'm gonna stop the frame when I see those, so that I can show you what I'm talking about.
beautifully.
The things knocking sounds like my place. I'm like, what the hell? Is someone here? So if I stop here, for example, for Sloan, you can see like the reason why the self shading works is when you don't have a lot of details. So already like this prop here, I think is at the limit of details because you got a lot of things there. But you can see, for example, the painting, that they didn't use what they were there before, but they replaced each painting with a blank gray image, so that all the details of the 2D picture wasn't getting affected by this filter that they apply on the camera. And you can, and probably like they did with the paintings, you can see here, they also did something similar with probably this chair here. I think when we go out, maybe we can check as well, but probably this chair has all these like little folding things and might have more folds and things. But for the sake of this experience here, when they wanted to push this self-shade look, they might have used just a texture which was flatter just to make this effect looks more interesting. And yeah, I think the painting, and for sure, looks like they replaced what's inside just to make it more like integrated. You see one here too, and probably the carpet too looks very flat. Maybe the carpet in the normal 3D, it has also maybe some decoration things that it would have looked very noisy in this scene here. I feel like also the card box might have been replaced with some simpler information, but maybe no. We'll see. But yeah, in general, you see how things are much more like flatter. And that last one, I think the paper wall on the wall might have been replaced with a version that keeps the same color but remove the patterns, because I remember there was some sort of pattern or something. I don't know if it was in this room too, but if it was, definitely they replaced it with a solid color wall so that with this filter it will look much better. Hope that answered your question. Go back to the video. Oh, what happened? We lost that.
Yeah.
You see the paintings here on the left, they're all kind of very simplified. The books looks like they kept the same asset. In fact, you can see a lot of details.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent.
Now, John, now.
She had a taste for stars.
Ah!
So did her fans. Of course, the prince played all on poor Rick.
Please comment with 2 words that scream.
Hiding under his bed the whole time. That's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all that Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Cool. So in this comic, you see how we unlocked a new door. So at the beginning, we were trying to play with the music thing next to the basement door, and now we know how to open the basement door thanks to that. I hope you are better at dance. I hope that too, because soon we're gonna complete the challenge, Borto. You need to get ready for your dance. Next time I will prepare something full screen for Borto.
Oh,
I guess now
what
I
a
know why
nice
Mom didn't like me
gesture.
playing with the music box.
Expectations are high. You go hype for it.
Oh, really?
Can you look inside that box at the entrance?
Which box? I'm doing the
Alright.
key thing. Tell me which box.
There's a box at the entrance of the house that has
I see.
very pretty.
Oh,
I love them.
A lot of things
Look.
got left behind in the
didn't show
whirlwind
you.
of that last night.
So beautiful.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
I want a disco bar in the environment. So we're gonna have a Borto green screen on a dance floor.
really?
Yes.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
So good. You can see also in this basement how all the elements, like we saw earlier, are all
Packages.
following the same theme of the construction site sort of theme, where there is all the tools to to build this space. You can see also the walls that doesn't have a plasterboard, but they only have insulation, and that's to show that it's a work in progress thing.
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories,
Damn.
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Do you guys have seen what?
Yeah, you were saying? I stopped the frame, but if you want to finish what you're saying.
Did you guys see Parasite? This kind of environment remembers of that.
That reminds you of
You can
that?
go-
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I just want to point
No?
out how right now we are in a sort of shelter bunker kind of thing. You can see how we got this like shape here. That is like classic to a bunker setting. And in the previous area of this bunker, we saw a lot of stashed food, which is in case of the emergency, you need to go down here and you need a lot of food. And probably here we see all these elements about the life of who was living inside this bunker here. So you probably have a very like small kitchen area with like small tool like that, And I don't understand what's in here, but yeah, there's like elements there, and then it's also doing something here which looks like it's building cranes, so probably that's his hobby. So you can see how there's like a little train here, and there's like a little rail there, and then there's like all like little train toys related props on this thing, which might be the hobby that keeps him sane during these bonkers things. And yeah, in general, it's really pretty cool. And you can see again that we have this sort of piece of cloth here that is hanging down from this tabletop, and that's probably signposting something. Let's see. Who's Walter, Borto? Who's Walter?
Who's Walter?
Goodbye.
He's the brother of the girl that we saw earlier, Barbara.
Exactly.
Once Barbara died, he found this refugee below the house.
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane.
Looks like someone has some trouble opening this.
I was doing it wrong.
Having a schedule, living for today.
Okay.
I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
So
But if you wait long
this
enough,
time should be
you'll get used to anything.
quicker.
So in this shot here, we're gonna see this shot repeat a few times, and you can see how we got elements that tell us what month and year it is. So it's January 1976, and these are the days that it's counting inside this, and every time there is some sort of vibration or something, so we don't know what's outside, and it's very methodical, and it's very like precise on time at the time, so always at 12 probably PM is eating this peach under oil peach thing. And what is nice about it is that when the vibration comes, all the elements, all these like spices up here, all the like radio there, this kitchen utensil thing, this pen is probably like swinging. They are all like moving, and it's kind of creating this space, giving this space much more dynamic in terms of, even if now they're not moving, you know that they moved, and they kind of makes the space more interesting. Also the fact that we have this string here that is attached to this marker, which is the marker that is used to draw X's on the calendar. It's like a really good connection, because you know this could have worked only just with the calendar and the axis, but the fact that there is this thing here, it adds movement when there are vibration, but it also connects more the details of if someone is asking, all right, there are marks there every day, well, what does it use to mark those days? And I guess you know, that's the answer, and it's right there. If it wasn't right there, I would have put it like on the table or something, so that you can connect the fact that there is something that he used to mark the thing. And in general, this type of connection you should be doing in all different things in the environment if you have things like this. Back to the video.
Stop. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
Yeah, before was 1968, and now it's 2005, and before was 1976.
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
Also, the fact that the subtitles are moving to the space that you have to interact with, it's very cool. It's a really nice way to lead the player. They combine subtitles with the golden marker features, and they use that for both guiding players and yeah, giving the subtitles.
I know it's out there somewhere.
Yeah, at first glimpse, this game seemed pretty
Whatever killed Barbara.
easy, maybe to make, because you just sorry, you're just this character moving around, but
Calvin.
there are tons of mechanics that are so cool and with so many details.
Maybe this
Exactly.
is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it.
So now we are in this
I'm going to appreciate
tunnel.
all of it, especially
So probably the vibration were the train or something.
if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
It's gone like that.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
That was sad and funny at the same time.
I'm sure.
So yeah, Walter was the kid under the bed when we were playing Barbara, and they couldn't find him after Barbara died, and they couldn't find him because he was here. And in fact, during his experience, you see the years going past very fast. So now, obviously, it looks in the pictures that we saw that it doesn't look like a kid; it looks like an old man. That's because
Maybe she
we went through a lot of
Walter.
thing.
But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
That's
I don't want to make
disgusting.
the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
It's a little memorial for Walter. So yeah, that's the railing ending there and the foreshadowing of that location
Writing this.
is like the objective where you have to go. So obviously you came out from that tunnel there, and now you can see that. Probably is that where we're going now, maybe?
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family.
You see here, if I stop the camera here, how the space, it makes you going around, and eventually it creates some sort of barriers on this side that force you to look at this direction. And that's something that we often do to when we guide the player. We try to make the players get into a position where we curate the composition, etc., in like with the use of channeling players around, I think. And in fact, you can see how from here, if you're looking at the roof third, that the location over there is quite aligned to one of the third, which is probably where our objective is. So I think one thing that people can learn from this thing here is that when you are trying to create an environment, always try, when you see the chance to create some sort of channeling to channel the players in ways that you want the camera to be angled at. So in this case, the camera, because of the barrier here, is angled on this shore and on this structure over there. And I think that it works really well. And it's what they wanted to do. Obviously, Borto could have walked sideways, but the majority of players will not do that, so you will very likely get the result you want to get.
Actually, there's maybe we could say that also the camera is forced when the text appears. The camera is rotated forward. So
yeah, that's another way to move the camera. Yeah.
You can't really look the other way in this
To
case.
be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
Obviously, this is in your face, so if we freeze here, they made all this path on the beach in a way that when the player will go back to the house or to the structure, you will have this as a landmark. So like going up to that path from the beach, we always saw that on one of the rule of third, or anyway in our frame, and that's a nice way to orientate players, because even if a game is very corridor looking game, having landmark here and there is a really good way to give players a bit of orientation. And one thing that you can see here already is that everything is very bluish and very dark because of we are in a nighttime scene, and the only colors that we have is this part here, right? So if you look at that, this is the only color we got there, and that's in fact to signpost the fact that we have to go up there or somewhere. And we also have a light here which not only makes this color more visible, but also create a very high contrast value on this point here. You can see the white windows with the darker thing. It really pops out because of the light, and obviously also the light itself is really, really, really strong. And on top of that, we also get this water tower or something on top there, which is kind of again almost like this does, but in a smaller type of thing. It's almost signposting that that's where you have to go, right? That's the tower, and that's where you have to go. So if we draw a line from the tower, it's like the tower is almost making this line like here, kind of thing. And I think that's very effective. So you came here, you always have the landmark in the background here, which is really good because the whole story goes around this house here, and yeah, and then here we got a bit of light, a bit of colors, and that's how we lead the players. Pretty straightforward, and yeah, and I think it's up to the player to figure out how to get here. I think at this point, the game gave you enough information how to play the game that you will be able to, I don't know, maybe go around there, maybe to remember where you actually go, but probably you have to go on top of that and then getting on top of that. Maybe there's a ladder there. I think I draw on top of it, but maybe with the light, they also create a silhouette with the railing. So maybe there's the railing there, and then it goes down, and it creates some sort of gap, which is where a ladder might be, kind of thing. And that's a very effective way to lead the player to a certain position. Let's go back to the video. Actually, not to the video, but to Jan playing. Who doesn't know? Jan is like real time playing this time. Hello, Dan. Nice to see you here. How's your painting going? If you guys want to see a good artist painting a cave with an interesting universe, go check the Head of Dan channel. It's making this concept art painting stream.
Is he streaming on Twitch?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
The pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
You can see how every tombstone has an element that connects with the character that we just saw, for example, and it's nice way to connect with the characters. So there is
Always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
There isn't just the name, but there is also a shape, sometimes a color, sometimes things. So it's very good when you can color code or shape code things together so that the people can connect them easily. I think we are towards the end of the stream. If you want to turn the camera back on.
Yeah.
Let's see if it works.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Did you turn it on? Are you still with us? You're still with us? Yeah, now we can hear you. So we made a new end of this Twitch so that we can upload on YouTube easily, and then
sound.
There you go. Thanks, Lauren. So yeah, we had some problem with the stream, but we were trying to figure out how we were able to have a real-time gameplay. So right now, Borto was playing the game at this place, and he was streaming at me, and I was streaming at the Twitch and YouTube. And I think that there was some issues with that, and we will try to fix it in the following days. But yeah, the game was really good. I hope you guys liked it, and if you haven't played, definitely go play it. Especially, it's not like a very recent game, so it shouldn't be very expensive to buy it. But you should definitely buy it. It will last you can play in 4 or 5 hours straight, and it's really, really good experience in my opinion. And
yeah, I think also if you go just straight to the point in 2 to 3 hours, you completed it. But it's so nice that you should actually appreciate every little detail of it.
Exactly.
If you guys like more this kind of gameplay rather than the video, let us know. And what did you want to say?
Yeah, no, I just want to say thank you, everyone. And as always, we also have a YouTube channel where we upload the VOD, where you can see offline if you miss the stream. So you can see on our right here, we got the Wolfenstein 2 VOD that is available on YouTube, and that game was really good, so I really recommend it to watch it. And we also have the VOD and highlights of Sekiro, so definitely go check it out. You should find the link on the description, unless you are really watching us from YouTube. And right now we are trying to stream on both Twitch and YouTube just to get an idea. And at some point we will make a choice, decide which platform we stream to. And for everything, guys, if you have a question, feel free to comment below or send us some email or join us Discord, chat with us if you want to ask something, if you looking for feedback. And soon we're gonna start to do episodes where we review other people's art. So we're gonna look at people who wants to get reviewed by us, and we're gonna do a live streaming. So that could be interesting too. So less game related, but more like a game dev related. I mean, actually, everything is game dev related, but like we are not gonna play games, but we're gonna just look at the art of game dev. That makes sense. Yeah. Do you have anything else to add, Porto? Before we say bye?
Thanks for watching, and join the Discord if you want to have a chat with us or just see Italian memes, because that's what is going there right now. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you next time.
All right. Have a good day or night, whatever you are in the world. Bye-bye.